All right, let's have another look at gold. So down here, when I was beating the drum to get into metals, and I called attention to this 3B reversal, nobody's joining the SMT down here. Nobody believes that metals can rise, and this happens every single time. Now that we're way up here, now people believe me. And then now is the time people want to be joining the SMT. They want to get in on the ride. Now they're afraid of missing out. So it's always the same thing. People are doing the exact opposite of what they should do. All the people that are eager to join the SMT and get on gold now, they should have been joining down here so that they could, instead of joining, this is, I believe, 32 days into this daily cycle, instead of joining and jumping on board at 32 days in the cycle, they could have jumped on board on day 1 or 2 of the cycle, and now they would have some really big profits. But human nature never changes, so it's always the same. Nobody believes me at the bottoms. Nobody wants to buy get on a subscription. Understand how the cycles work, get in early on the beginning of an intermediate cycle, and then they all pile in right after the asset has moved big. And so I'm going to just give a little bit of a warning. I don't think this intermediate cycle is over, not by any stretch. I think it could probably even go out to February before it's over, but we are 32 days into this daily cycle, and now I'm starting to get people interested. That usually means that we're getting pretty close to a daily cycle top. And then all of these people that joined late, they're going to get caught in a correction. And usually what happens is they're afraid of missing any more of the move. They're buying up here after they've let 32 days go by, and then they immediately get caught in a drawdown. When the asset drops down into that daily cycle low, and then they sell at the bottom of the drawdown. And usually those drawdowns don't, a daily cycle low, they usually don't end until most everybody panics and sells. So, one of my general rules, let me put the Fibonacci in here. All right, so again, I don't have any idea whether this is going to turn out to be the top of the daily cycle or not. We could get to 1850. We could maybe even get to 1900 before the daily cycle tops. But it is getting late. We're 32 days into this. And most daily cycles will run between 35 and 45 days. And you have to have, some days for it to move down into the daily cycle low. So generally 5 to 8 days for a minor daily cycle low. So you've got to allow some time for the declining part of the cycle. So anyway, just assuming that this, if this were the top, then I would probably expect at least a 38% retracement of the cycle before I would, be in a big hurry to try and call the bottom. So that would be back down here to 1752. Again, if this rallies a little further, if it gets to 1850, then that 38% retracement will be a little bit higher. If it makes it all the way 1900, higher still. But I'm just saying, people, they keep doing the exact opposite of what they should do, and this never changes. Nobody's jumping on board the SMT down here when they should be, and then now setting on some really big profits. No, they wait till their emotions give them the all clear, and their emotions are now afraid of missing out on any more of the move, and now's when they want to get on board, and it almost invariably ends up being at the top or pretty close to the top of a minor correction into a daily cycle low. So just be aware. We're getting those people that are joining late, and that's usually a bad sign. What I would hope is that people would, at some point would learn the lesson, and then when we do get that move down into the daily cycle low, that's when we need to see a bunch of people jump on board with the SMT, because that's your buying opportunity. That's where you can get in low and then ride the next move up. So, it would have been like getting in here on day 1 or 2 or 3, and then now being, setting on some really big profits, instead of now your emotions say, hey, it's okay for me to get on board, and then buying after you've already let 32 days of the daily cycle go by. So something to think about. If we get a decline into this daily cycle low, that is your signal. That's when you want to be piling onto the SMT premium newsletter, so that you can hopefully you can buy the dip and then get positioned for the next leg up in this intermediate cycle, which, like I said, I don't think is done. I think there's a very good chance it could run all the way out to February before it tops.